Hi, and welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. I was just watching the Sky News, and they're talking about today being a national strike for climate change. And I don't know whether I believe in climate change or not because there's varying different views on it. And also, I'm very dubious about the data that they're using it on. It's strange that a mere normal person will be questioning scientists or the media over that, but because I have no technical knowledge of it. But the fact is that I know that they only have 100+ years of data on climate, and I do wonder how much of that is accurate at all, because I don't know how do they measure climate now, the temperature of the planet, and where, and how did they do it 100 years ago? Are they using the same, like a mercury thermometer, or are they using digital means now? Is there a discrepancy between the data, that maybe that data 100 years ago was way out, because of the different means to how they test the data, it's made it inaccurate to plot, from here to here and say this is the change because of this. And the change may not be because of the temperature or the climate, it may be because of the equipment that's being used to capture it. And how accurate was it? It may have moved places as well, because different places get different temperatures, strangely. I am dubious about that. It's very easy to create this, but I suppose the real issue is that what's interesting is that the media has latched onto this, and people have latched onto it, and people are protesting in their apparently millions. The strange thing that there's two things. What gets me is that why is no one protesting for the way that they're living? The way that we have to live, the suffering that's going on for children dying of starvation, people dying unnecessarily, people having to live a forced life, as it were, going to work and keeping businesses manufacturing 5 million different bottles of fairy liquid. Actually, should I say fairy liquid? That's a brand, isn't it? Washing up liquid. So why is no one protesting about that? I mean, yeah, climate change, they're suggesting it's going to kill thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people due to smog and things like that. So how many people are dying every day because of starvation and malnutrition on a planet that could support every single person? Why is no one protesting about that? It's funny, the things that people protest about, and I do wonder, is that because of people, or is that because of whoever wants his agenda has got enough people, the 100 monkeys syndrome, and therefore then everyone will latch on it, because then they don't think that, I'm doing something that's against the grain. Because I could go out and protest about, the way that the planet is run, but I'd get laughed at and no one would join me. But if there's already 100 people doing it, or thousands of people doing it, or it's on the TV, then everyone will come and do it and think it's brilliant. And the other thing is the way that they don't seem to be targeting the cause of climate change, unless I'm misunderstanding. The cause of climate change is to do with cars and manufacturers, so businesses and government. I mean, at the end of the day, it's humans that are if this does exist, it's humans that are causing climate change. If you're taking the animals and how they play their part in it as well, nature. But if we say it does exist, and we say it is humans that are doing it, which humans are doing it? Well, the majority is businesses, isn't it? Businesses with their factories around the world pumping out stuff. Now, it may be the reason why this climate change is to stop upcoming countries like India and China from overtaking countries like America and Britain, because maybe they already use factories that don't, that they can claim that don't pollute as much as China and India, and therefore is this climate change just a way to cap those countries that America and Britain and Europe don't want to overtake? That could be a reason for it. But anyway, whatever, take that country thing out of it. Just why doesn't Sky News, BBC News, CNN, whoever, is reporting on this, talk about government and businesses, the main cause of this problem? And I'm alleging it at them because businesses, they are the ones who produce the things. They produce the plastic that Sky News are always going on about. I don't produce plastic. Most civilians, people at home watching television, don't need to be told that because we don't produce the plastic. The businesses do, and they get their licenses from governments. Governments decide what we can and can't sell, and all the health and safety regulations and all that. So they're the ones responsible. So why is it on our television screens? It's pointless telling us. You want us to protest, just go straight to the government, go straight to the businesses and demand that they stop destroying our planet if that's actually what's going on. Stop climate change if that's actually what's going on. But why are they not doing that? Why aren't they banging on Ford's door or Tesco's or pharmaceutical companies or, whoever are manufacturing around the world and causing this alleged climate change? Why are they not banging on the doors of America, the White House, the Houses of Parliament, number 10, all these different parliaments around the world, those politicians, these leaders, these world leaders? Why aren't they knocking on their doors and saying that you're causing climate change by your policies? Because at the end of the day, I don't control what I do, is it? I'm in a slave life in the sense that, I everything around me is governed because I have a government. So I'm not in control of it. So you want me to go and protest against who? You want me to go protest against government and businesses? But it's just interesting how when you watch, they don't talk about these things. The only things they do talk about is other people's countries. They, like on Sky News today, they were talking about Indonesia and the fires that are going on there. Before they were talking about the fires in the Amazon, far away places, and this is causing climate change. And these are probably Westerners that are going there, setting fire to bits of wood so that they can, sell it or to take the land. Well, I mean, it's obviously for the paper, because that's where paper comes from, isn't it? Trees. Well, not all of it these days, because it's recycled, isn't it? But yeah, they're talking about Indonesia and the Amazon rainforest being alight. But then they're not talking about all the businesses in America and England who for generations would have been causing this problem. Or the cars that America, Germany and Japan produces. I suspect they'd talk about the Japanese ones, but they're probably not going to talk about the American and the German manufacturers who make a lot more cars. So, okay, if you're going to believe in climate change, let's go at the root. Let's blame the governments and the businesses. There's no point telling us all this, because I can't change the law. I can't say you're no longer allowed to make cars, or your cars now have to, be this, that and the other. So what is this all really about then? If we're not talking about the actual things, is this just about making protest and giving certain politicians power to, or policy to sort of attack other countries and make them sort out their business rather than sorting out yours? Another bullying tactic that the West uses. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.